Morning, it's Nancy today. Got to cover up that double chin there. I'll just put my hand here, make it look like I want my hand there. I have a word to say to beginners. There are a million things that you want to do in your life, and everything has a beginning. And there's no shame in beginning something. If you're inquisitive and want to try something new, that's great. And if you make a mistake, then you're normal. If you do it right the first time, you're very strange. Very unusual kind of a person. But if you make mistakes, I found a mug. I was in Cracker Barrel in Georgia. And it said, if at first you don't succeed, destroy all evidence you tried. Well, some people have other people around them that would like them not to try anything they're not going to do perfectly. No, you wait, let me do that. Don't you touch it. No, I don't want you to make a mess of it. And you know, from the time we have little children, it's so easy to just take the broom and sweep the floor ourselves, or take the vacuum and do the whole floor. It's almost painful to watch somebody do it wrong for a while, you know? Well, I sure have white hair. However, if you don't do it wrong, you'll never do it right. And, I mean, if you don't begin. There's so many things out there that are interesting to do. There's so many crafts and projects. And with gardening, with my flowers. When I began this garden here, this beautiful perennial thing, the perennial slope. When I began that, it was a field that needed to be cut. There was nothing growing except grass. Not a tree. It was a big square place. I think it was originally a field with a wooden fence around the edge of it. Part of the field of the rest of the farm that was up further on the hill. Anyway, yeah. There were some beautiful flowers over on the other side of the house, up on the terraces. And there was no way I was going to have the oomph to go over there and water them 3 times a week to keep them alive. Oomph, Willem, that's what I said. Oomph.
Oomph, eh?
Hey, yeah, that looks very nice and straight. So, one at a time, I moved those flowers, those plants, over to this area. And I just stuck them in places. I dug a bit of an area, and I started planting things in it. And then I dug another area and planted things in it. And before you know it, I was admiring people's gardens, and they were giving me plants. And most things have died. Things that are hardy have stayed and have taken over and are doing very well. One year I lost all my lamb's ears. They were beautiful lamb's ears. And they all died because of the frost. There was no snow cover or something. And the ice, it heaved them, broke the roots, killed them. And I had sage at one time. I guess I should go back and look at pictures of it all. I tried, anyway, so what I'm saying is that I began this garden and a lot of things died, so it was a good thing I didn't spend money on it. And a lot of things lived. And it's totally sort of remaking itself. Every year it's different. The flowers are in different places because their seeds come up in different places. A lot of them are biennials. Sorry. Anyway, so if you ever want to try to learn something, like maybe you want to make an arbor, but you've never made an arbor, and you really haven't got an idea how to make an arbor. You're a beginner, right? So trust yourself and try. It would be best if you don't want to spend money on something, if you find natural materials that you can harvest to use. You know, like straight branches or something. Or tree trunks. But whatever it is you want to do, you can do it if you just research, look it up, learn about it, and maybe look at something that's already built. Depends on your learning style. If you like to learn by watching, then you need to find somebody who's making one and watch them make it. A YouTube video would be useful. If you want, not mine. Mine are so rambling. I really don't teach you much of anything. Not from start to finish anyway. But, so I would read about it. I would watch somebody doing it. If you learn best by studying it in a book, then do that. There's lots of books on Amazon. Did you know that Amazon has many used books for 1 cent? They're not sold by Amazon, but they're on the Amazon.com site. So when you look at it, it'll tell you the price, and then it'll say new and used from, and it'll have a number, a price. So you click on the used, and you can find them, maybe at 1 cent. I've found many good church books for 1 cent, because once you've read them, you can get too many of these, and then they're on your shelf, and anyway, a lot of those books are donated. And so you have many vendors that are selling their own books that they've had donated to them. But pottery, I knew nothing about pottery. And so I tried. A friend of mine let me try on her thing, and I tried, and I liked it, and eventually I got the stuff to do it with. Stained glass. I thought I would like to know how to do it, and I read about it on the internet. I learned how to do it. I got my stuff, and I did it. And jewelry making, I learned the whole thing on the internet, and then I tried it. And I bent the wire wrong, had to throw out wire that was bent wrong. Pottery, I've made lots of, my beginning stuff is really thick and heavy, but it's important to keep that, because once I start to be really good at it, I'll never make things like that, thick and heavy and misshapen, or whatever. I'm going to put these on an angle. Have to be on a big angle. I could take them off. Oh my, what big eyes you have. I have little squinty eyes when I smile. People used to call Willem Wee Lang for his Chinese looking eyes. Anyway, so don't be afraid to begin. Don't be afraid to begin. Everybody was a beginner once. The best piano player ever was a beginner once. There was a violin player who started playing when he was 12, and he says, "Well, I'll never be very good at it, because I was already 12 when I started." But yet his stuff is amazing. Don't think of it as you can't. Just whatever you want to do, you can do it. I've learned to play the violin. Mind you, it's still me playing the violin. I shouldn't say that, but I don't think I'm really very good. I can play some songs now. And I have learned my gardening. People say, "Oh, you've really got a green thumb." Well, no, I don't. I just put them in and leave them alone, and then they grow. Some things were put in the right place, and so they grew. And some things that were put in the wrong place died. So you don't see the ones that died, you only see the ones that grew. If at first you don't succeed, destroy all evidence you tried. That's what nature does. If at first you don't succeed growing something, it'll wash it away. Well, I haven't planted any daylilies yet today, and I really should get back to that, because what was it I have? 120 plants? I don't know if that's right. I got 82 varieties. Whatever, yeah, I think I had 120 clumps or pots. Clumps and pots, 120. Isn't that cool? I think I have enough. Can't believe I got 82. Do you realize that means that they're going to bloom all year? There's always going to be something blooming. It's going to be really nice. Oh well, I haven't really been doing that today. I've been mowing and trying to move things around and doing a lot of driving too. It's sitting up here. Okay, so that's it. 10 minutes. So be a beginner. Even if you're an old timer at other things.